a lot of inquiries. They can request for floor plans so that, when they can prepare their bids for whatever is the prevailing market price.
Yeah, and it's a very strategic location, together with Portal West. Yes, both are corner structures, and it's really in the heart of the city, and it's a landmark. No, when people would go to that particular part of the city, they would always say Portal West. No, and I'm sure they will now say Portal East. As a matter of fact, now in terms of also making sure that the clientele or those prospective occupants would meet our standards. Do we have certain requirements?
Well, the only requirement is actually the university policy.
Yes. Of what?
Well, companies that sell liquor and
yes.
cigarettes.
That's a no-no.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, but we also evaluate the nature of their business. And let's say there are two competing companies for the same floor, and then that's when we convene a committee to finally choose to whom we're going to grant a particular space.
Yes. I was about to ask that. No? In fact, so for example, if I am a, let us say, maybe a financial institution, I should not have another financial institution probably within the same floor or
yes,
within the same
within
building?
the same building.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
But it does not in any way jeopardize our clientele at the Portal West, Ma'am Jane, no?
Yes.
It does not, no?
It
Because
does not.
they actually, Portal West actually serves a different clientele.
Yes.
Aye, very good. So, so are all, not all the floors, all the 5 floors are occupied, or are there lessees or bids already?
We have already received bids
Okay.
for
Okay.
all of the 5 floors. And
okay.
so we
Yes.
are actually evaluating this.
Yes.
They have expressed their intent. And then we are awaiting their formal bids
Okay,
for
so
these floors.
a committee has been formed, no?
Formed.
For this particular
Yes.
purpose.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So by December of this year, we now expect the structure to be completed.
That's
and
right.
of course, the for the completion. Aside from that, also those who will be occupying
Yes.
the building. That's very
Yeah.
good, no? Our contractors are.
Gregorio Uymachao.
Okay, yes.
I would like to emphasize that for those who are interested to lease space in Portal East, they can start their fit-out work as early as the 3rd or 4th quarter of 2016. Because what we'll be leasing out will just be the shell of the building. Though we provide for 24-hour security, there will be a standby generator set, there will be an elevator, water cisterns, tanks, more amenities.
The amenities, the works as expected in a commercial building.
Yes.
Yes, very good. No, including you mentioned 24-hour security.
24-hour
already.
security,
Yes.
yes.
Same with Portal West as well. No,
That's right.
Yeah, fit out work would mean that if I were an occupant, it's just the shell that I will be
Yes.
getting. No,
Yeah.
all the other structures, all the other things that will go to that particular space would be on me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, definitely. No, so you mentioned how big it is, Ma'am Jane? Floor space?
The smallest floor space is the mezzanine. That's around 350 to 400 square meters.
Okay.
And then the largest is the 3rd or 4th floor. That's almost about 600 square meters.
Okay, so that's an entire floor.
That's an entire
Okay,
floor.
very good. No?
Yes.
So first, second, third.
So
yeah.
from 400 to 600 square meters, that's the variation.
Yes, yes, okay. And since this is a new structure, a new building, we abide by the
Building code.
the requirements,
Yes.
and everything as well.
It can withstand a minimum of 8 for earthquakes measuring 8 on the Richter scale
Okay.
and 440 kilometer per hour winds, typhoon winds.
Kilometer
Yeah.
per, yeah. It's especially if there's going to be a storm or a typhoon, no?
yes.
Okay, so that's good. So we expect that to be completed and occupied by December of 2016. That's really great. And in fact, we also have to thank the alumni who were instrumental in providing the funds as well as their efforts at coming up with this particular construction.
No, the Portal West was actually funded by the alumni.
The alumni,
The alumni.
yes.
The Portal East project is actually funded by the university.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the
This is
difference.
internally
no?
funded.
Okay. So
Yes.
in fact, if I remember it correctly, during the year that we inaugurated Portal West, there is until now there is a
Tree of Life.
yeah the
There's a
tree of life that is still ongoing, that can
Yes.
still be in fact filled up by our
Yes.
alumni, right?
Yes.
Okay. So for Portal West, it's through the efforts of our alumni, and I think this is specifically the SUACONA. Am
The
I correct?
SUACONA,
The
yes.
Silliman University Alumni Council of North
North America.
America. So Portal East, the twin building now is the
Internally
efforts,
funded,
the
yes.
efforts of the university.
Yes.
Very good. So at least we made that very clear, so that we can thank the proper individuals and institutions for this particular development. So anything else that our public would like to know or would like to be informed about regarding Portal East? We have mentioned where they can send, right?
Yes,
Their-
and they can visit our
their bids.
website.
Okay.
Information about the Portal East is at our website.
Very good. Yes, very good. So that's something to look forward to by 2016. And then your office, Ma'am Jane, also takes care of the so-called memory wall. No? Maybe you can tell our televiewers some more about this.
Okay. The memory wall gives an opportunity for our alumni and friends to memorialize loved ones who were in Silliman before. So this is located at the back of the Silliman Church. We have a very beautiful garden there, and then there's a memory wall. And if you have a loved one, a teacher, a principal, a family member who has passed, and you would want to memorialize, you can have the name of that person in a plaque placed on the wall. The only requirement is that this person has to be an alumni, meaning to say, if he has been to Silliman for graduated from Silliman or went to school in Silliman, not necessarily having finished a degree, just been there for a year, he's already considered an alumni.
Yes,
Alumni.
yes, okay. Whether they came during their elementary years,
Yes,
or
or high
secondary,
school,
yes,
yes.
or graduate school or
That's
in
right.
college.
Yes.
So not necessarily graduates, but those who may have stayed or studied.
Attended school at
Yes,
Silliman.
okay. So the minimum is about a year, 1 year?
Even
Oh,
just a
attendance?
semester, that would
Okay.
already be
Okay.
enough
But
to
who
call him
would,
an alumni.
Yes. Who would initiate the placing of the person's name and immortalize it on the wall?
Well, the
Family members?
family members or friends or students.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a fee for that, or an amount that is
it's-
entailed?
There's actually
Or a donation?
a contribution or
Okay,
donation of
okay.
about 10,000 pesos per
Okay,
name. The
okay.
idea there is the proceeds would go towards sustaining our proclamatory message in the Silliman Church. We have activities that would proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ, like Galilean fellowships and other activities.
Now that you mentioned it, I also would like to say that by next week, we will also
Yes.
be interviewing those who are responsible for the preparations of the so-called University Christian Life Emphasis Month, which will start by Sunday, now that you mentioned this. Yeah, very good. So how far or how soon is the memory wall going to be operational?
The memory wall
It's
is already there.
Okay.
Yes.
But there are names already.
We have already received names.
Okay.
We have already received their contributions, and it's just a matter of putting them on the walls now.
Okay. So I think, I've been to that particular part of the campus, of course, and I think it's surrounding that
The back of the church
yeah, the
and the
Silliman
church office.
Yes, and there's a landscape now that is
Yes.
ongoing, and I think it's already fully completed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very nice. So that's the so-called memory wall, no?
Yes,
Okay.
in the memory garden.
Yes, in the memory garden of the Silliman Church, to immortalize the memory of loved ones who are, of course, Sillimanians. That's the primary primary requirement. Yes, and your office takes care of that. And now that
And the Office of Alumni and External Affairs.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
because they would be responsible for identifying and maybe monitoring who have gone to Silliman, who have come to Silliman, and who have also even graduated from Silliman University. Yeah, your office has actually been in the forefront, Ma'am Jane, no? The Vice President for Development Office, and the Office of Information and Publications is one of its divisions, right? Including the Office of Alumni and External Affairs. Are there other offices that I have not mentioned that are under your auspices?
The Institutional Advancement Office
yes,
is
okay.
also in my
Yes.
division.
Yes, including
the United Board, the liaison office with the
yes.
United Board.
Okay, yes. And including our marketing efforts as well. in
The marketing
university.
efforts are actually lodged with the Office of Information
Yes.
and Publication.
Okay, great. No? So it's another office, one of the offices of the several that we have at the university that is at the forefront of many preparations, especially with the coming ASEANization?
ASEAN integration.
ASEAN integration, which will go full blast or on full swing by 2016, and of course, senior high school as well. But before we move on to senior high school, we will be celebrating several commemorations of weeks and centennial celebrations, also at least of two institutions, no? The Silliman High School celebrating its centennial anniversary by 2016, and also the Silliman Church, yes. And again, as we will be inviting the officials of Silliman Church by next Monday, we shall also be expounding on this. But maybe very, very quickly, Mark, you can tell our televiewers about our preparations for the Silliman, the centennial of the Silliman High School and also of the Silliman Church. For high school, it's our trustee, Grace Sumalpong, who is the chair of the preparations.
That's true. It's Attorney Grace Sumalpong who's
Yeah.
heading the Centennial Committee. Now, there are many activities lined up for the Centennial celebration of the Silliman High School. And among these activities, of course, you have the get-together among alumni, the street party.
Yeah.
Many, of course, we start with the worship service at the Silliman University Church. And so we hope to be able to have many alumni who graduated from Silliman High or spent some years at Silliman High School to join us. And the list of initial activities is found on the university website. So that's su.edu.ph/SUHS Centennial.
I remember Attorney Sumalpong coming over a few months ago or even last year to meet with certain officials in the high school department as well as other alumni and even officers of particular batch groups or reunioning
True,
groups,
right.
no? And they have come together, and I think, you're right, come up with a calendar of activities leading to the centennial celebration. And I think the preparations started at least a year ago.
As early as, that's correct, as early as the first semester of the school year.
Yes, exactly.
In fact, the committee also organized together with the high school department a flea market, and that generated a good amount of money.
Okay.
That will hopefully form part of the funds that will support the celebration. And apart from that, there's also fundraising ongoing among alumni groups. And so we hope that the alumni groups or alumni batches of Silliman High will be able to contribute an amount at least 5,000 or 10,000 towards helping us celebrate the centennial celebration.
The so-called Silliman spirit is always evident, no? Not only during Founders Day, but even practically all throughout our lives, in every Sillimanian's life. And celebrating the centennial of the high school, I can just imagine, right? The uproar and the camaraderie and everything that will go on to make sure that the celebration is really going to be very, very festive. And each year, even as we celebrate Founders Day, the alumni reunioning groups, not only of the various colleges, but especially of the high school, come together, right?
In fact, when I had a chance to be with one of our graduates who's already an officer of Cebu Pacific, it seems to be part of their marketing already, the founders activity of Silliman University. So you really have to look up their website to be able to enjoy certain promotions.
This is in the month of August, no?
In the month of August, yes.
Okay, great.
So we're negotiating with them to be able to extend the same
Yes.
promo that they did 2 years ago.
Yes,
In-
okay.
To time it with the celebration of
great.
the centennial of the two, Silliman Church.
Yeah. So in other words, in the Silliman Church as well. So in other words, like for example, if I belong to a particular high school group or an alumni reunioning group, and there are many of us who would be coming, we can like charter a particular flight, no?
I remember in 2001 when there was when we celebrated centennial,
yeah.
there was a group of alumni from the US that chartered
Yes.
a flight direct to
Correct.
Dumaguete,
To Dumaguete.
from Manila, I think.
Yeah.
So they can get into that arrangement.
Correct.
But what we are tossing up to them is the possibility of them affording some discounts, specifically for those coming home for the Founders Day celebration to celebrate the church centennial and, of course, the high school centennial.
So these are two big celebrations aside from other colleges that are also celebrating their golden anniversary, like the College of Mass Communication. But we will talk about that more lengthily, as well as other developments and prospects at Silliman University when we get back after this break.